One important task we must be able to do to use Venn diagrams to work out probabilities is identify different sets within the sample space. This example is devoted to that. The simplest event to identify is just A. A is everything which occurs within the A circle. Here we can see A shaded. This leads us immediately to another set which is called A dashed, or the complement of A, or sometimes not A. This set represents everything which is not in A, so in this diagram it is everything which is not shaded. Remember, this is A dashed, or the complement of A. We're now going to look at the set A union B. A union B is sometimes referred to as A or B, and here we consider or to be an and or. So the or encompasses things that are in A or in B or in both, which is the and. To identify this set, first shade A. A is everything that is within the A circle. We then shade B in a different color and a different direction to make it really clear. When dealing with a union, as we are here, A union B, we take everything that is shaded, irrespective of whether it is shaded once or twice like the intersection is. So the union of A and B is the whole of this shaded region. We're now going to consider A intersection B. The symbol that looks a bit like an N in the middle here means intersection. Another way of looking at this is and. We want to identify things that are within both A and B. Here we can see that it's the bit that's shaded twice. So when dealing with an intersection, we only take the part that is shaded twice. This is important to remember. When working with the union, you take everything that is shaded, irrespective of how many times. But when dealing with the intersection of two sets, you will only take the part that is shaded twice. We can identify that as this piece in the center. We can see both blue and red shading within this piece, so it's only this area here which is the intersection. We're going to use this method to identify another event, A dashed or B. So this is not A or B. Remember, A dashed is called the complement of A, or not A, and represents everything that is not in A. We start by identifying not A. We shade everything outside of A. So carefully shade to make sure that you don't shade any of the inside of A. However, everything outside needs to be shaded. We now shade B, so we shade the inside of B. And remember, for a union, we take everything shaded, whether once or twice, so it's everything except for this bit here, which we can see contains no shading. We're now going to identify A intersection B dash. Remember, B dash represents the complement of B, or not B, which means everything outside of B. So in English, this is A and not B. So first let's shade A. So we shade everything within the A circle. Now not B is everything outside of B. So we need to shade, making sure we shade everything outside of B and that our shading doesn't go within B. Since we're dealing with an intersection, we only want the part that is shaded twice, which is within this region here. So this is the region that we want. This method can be used to identify any events that we want to work with. Don't be afraid to draw diagrams in order to identify events, although with practice you'll start to see the events that you want very quickly.